They say the bookies always win, but that was before tenant, the man who turned his house rent money into a war chest, who beat the system so badly they tried to erase him. From jealous friends to assassination attempts, even the government couldn't stop him, until his next move shook an entire nation. I live in a face me, I face you compound in Ikorodu. You know how it is. Thin walls, loud neighbors, and everybody knows everybody's business. That's how I got to know tenant was the kind of guy who could smile while his life was crashing. Tall, slim, with this ever-hungry look on his face. No job, no hustle, but always on his phone, calculating odds on SportyBet like it was mathematics. I remember the first time I really noticed him. He was standing in front of our tap, arguing with Mama Shidinma about the 1,500 Naira NEPA bill money he hadn't paid. "Next week, Mama," he said. "Once Real Madrid collect this cup, I go pay you double." Everybody laughed. The thing is, tenant was always betting. Always. It didn't matter if he had just 200 Naira to his name. He would rather buy data to place a ticket than buy food. We used to joke that his stomach was betting on its own survival. But it wasn't funny when we started hearing serious things. One day, tenant's landlady came shouting into the compound. "Where that useless boy? He hasn't paid rent for 6 months. I'll break down that door." True, tenant hadn't paid. He had used all the house rent money, 150,000 Naira, to stake on some 12-team odds. He lost it, of course. Nobody was surprised, except his younger sister, who came from Ibadan to visit him, and broke down crying when she found out he was squatting in an empty room with only a mattress and a power bank. We pitied him, but also insulted him, because that's how Nigerians do. We laugh and curse what we don't understand. But then came that Friday. I was in my room watching TikTok when I heard a loud bang on the gate. "Open O! Open O! I done hammer Abi!" Come help me check this thing. He be like say, they pain me." I peeped from my window. tenant was shirtless, barefoot, and jumping like he was being chased by Juju. He was holding his phone like it was holy water. Check am. I get 8 million for my SportyBet wallet." We thought it was a scam, until he showed us. 8 solid zeros. He started screaming names. "See this ticket? Finland under 19, Sudan League, Chile Division 2, Way do Amo." We were stunned. The same guy who used to beg to charge phone was now giving out 5K to random Okada boys who didn't even ask for it. That night, we turned our compound to a party. Beer flowed, speakers blasted, suya burnt in the air. tenant was a king, but then tenant vanished. For 3 days, no calls, no texts, no noise, just silence. When he returned, his beards were trimmed, he wore a fresh tracksuit, and he had a girl. One fine yellow girl who looked like Instagram. But something was off. He didn't greet us. No more loud laugh. No more, "Hey, big borrow me 1K, make I balance ticket." tenant changed. And that was just the beginning. After that 8 million miracle, tenant started moving differently. He stopped hanging around the compound. No more plastic chair gist with us under the mango tree. No more wearing that one Arsenal jersey that had turned pink from overwashing. Now it was sneakers, perfume, designer shirts, things we only saw on TV. But the biggest change? His betting style. tenant stopped playing those mad 12-team tickets with small 500 Naira. No more if he enter, go cut jokes. Now he was betting like a boss. 2 odds, 3 odds, maximum 4, and the stake? Crazy. 500,000 on one ticket, 1 million Naira on another. When we asked him why he was playing small odds, he laughed. "Guy, when you have money, you don't need to chase 500 odds. Just give me 1.85 with confidence, and I'll cash out 900K before lunch." And somehow he kept winning. We watched him turn that 8 million into 12.3 million in just 2 weeks. I swear on my mother's grave, I saw it with my own eyes. He showed me his wallet balance one afternoon when I helped him fix his car battery. "Na small, na discipline," he said. Discipline? This was the same tenant that once borrowed 300 Naira to play Arsenal to win and ended up fighting the whole compound when they drew. But he wasn't lying. He was now smarter. He subscribed to foreign betting telegram groups, paid tipsters, watched match analysis on YouTube like it was a job. He even started calling himself Investor tenant, and honestly, we were proud. I mean, yes, it was gambling, but this guy had finally found something that worked for him. For once in his life, Deji was up. He started doing giveaways in the compound, paid everybody's NEPA bills 1 month, gave Baba Sikiru 100K to repair his kiki, even rented a shop for his sister to start a wig business. People began calling him Odogwu. But the thing about money, it makes you loud, and loud money attracts loud problems. One night, I heard his voice again, but this time it wasn't shouting, "I done hammer." It was inside his room, angry, shaky, desperate. "Wet and be this. E be like say this ticket one cut like playo. The two sure odds now, Bayern and PSG." He played they to score over 2 goals, and the match ended 0-0. I heard the phone drop, then silence, then he screamed. That was the first cut. He had staked 2 million that day, and it vanished in seconds. We thought maybe he'd slow down after that loss. But nah, Deji didn't step on the brakes. He pressed harder. He called it revenge betting. But we knew. He was chasing like a madman. After Deji lost that 2 million ticket, we all thought he would slow down. But you don't know Deji. Deji didn't believe in slowing down. The next morning, he stormed out of his room, red-eyed like he hadn't slept. "Make Una no panic. I day on revenge mode now. This na my revenge ticket." We asked him what that meant. He replied with one line. "If you slap a lion, don't turn your back." That same day, Deji staked 5 million. Yes, 5 million, on 2 odds. It was some Russian league match in a women's tennis game. Nobody in our compound had even heard of those teams before, but he swore they were sure odds. "Na blood ticket, I know they joke." That night, everybody gathered around his window. His TV was loud, the tension louder. You could feel the fear in the air. When that final whistle blew and both games ended as predicted, Deji didn't scream. He just walked out calmly, looked at us all, smiled and said, "I told you, you don't fight the house, you burn it down." I mean to the ground. He had just made back 9.25 million. But that wasn't even the beginning of the real madness. 2 days later, Deji came across a correct score prediction on Twitter. Some guy with a private account and a Dubai flag in his bio posted a 2-match correct score combo, the kind of bet even experienced gamblers avoid. At all costs, because it's almost impossible, Inter Milan 2 Lion 3, Zamalek 4 Al Ali won the odds, over 250. Deji didn't blink. He staked 500K on it. And when those exact scores hit, 500K became 125 million. The compound didn't sleep that night. Deji screamed like someone possessed. He ran out half naked, fell on the ground, got up again, poured water on himself, and started shouting, "I didn't die. I didn't finally break the matrix." By the next morning, he had changed his Instagram name to Bookies Nightmare. His bio read, "Destroyer of Odds, Correct Score, Lord, Sporty Daddy, Space Icon." It was like watching someone transform into a god overnight. Suddenly, Deji wasn't just a lucky guy anymore. He was a myth. People started coming to him for sure games. Even people from other compounds and neighborhoods. Married men came with their last salary, begging him to drop odds. Girls started camping at our gate, claiming they had been with Deji before he blew. He stopped greeting us like neighbors. Now it was, "Book appointment with my guy if you want to talk to me." He hired a personal assistant, one skinny guy named Sly, who wore sunglasses at night and carried a tablet everywhere like a banker. Deji bought a Benz, painted it matte black, and gave it a custom plate, Bookies Nightmare. He even started his own Telegram group, 10K to join, no refunds, no arguments, just his voice notes saying things like, "If you doubt me, play virtuals. I play real life." The truth, he was still winning. It wasn't luck anymore. It felt like power. Here's something people don't know about Deji. Deep down, he was never greedy. After that wild 125 million naira win, people thought he'd start charging crazy amounts for tips. But Deji shocked all of us. "I no go charge anybody. Betting changed my life, so why I go block others from their own miracle? We go win together." That became his motto. People loved him for it. He was like Robin Hood with a SportyBet account, but not everyone agreed, especially Sly, his so-called assistant. At first, Sly was just helping him manage his Telegram group and online messages. But after watching Deji give out winning slips for free, slips that were turning people into millionaires overnight, Sly started getting uncomfortable. "See, my guy," he once said when we were chilling in front of the compound gate, "all these guys, they cash out from your brain, and you, they smile. At least charge consultation fee." Deji just shook his head. "If dem win, make them bless me. Voluntary, I no be thief." But that conversation planted a seed. A few days later, Deji came up with a new idea. "Instead of charging you to enter, let me take a percentage when you win. Simple. If my tip helps you cash 2 million, just send me small token. Everybody happy." And it worked. That's how he started getting random alerts from across Nigeria. 80K here, 500K there. One lucky guy from Onitsha even sent him a cow. But none of that prepared us for what happened next. One Saturday evening, Deji got a DM from a verified account. A quiet message. No drama, no emojis. It read, "I've been following you. I want to work with you. I'll send 5 billion for you to manage. Let's split winnings 60-40, MOE." Deji looked at the message. His hand was shaking. "Who be MOE?" he asked. He Googled. MOE was Major of Akiti, one big political boy, a real shadow figure, the kind of man who doesn't post pictures online, a man whose money breathes on its own. Deji screamed, not because he was scared, but because for once he didn't know what to do. 5 billion to bet? That wasn't betting anymore. That was warfare. Still, he agreed, quietly, no noise. MOE sent him the first 5 billion in 2 tranches. Clean, no trace. Deji's plan was to keep it secret, just between him, MOE, and maybe one lawyer. But in compounds like ours, nothing stays hidden for long. And Sly? Sly noticed. He wasn't stupid. He saw Deji switching phones, sneaking off to quiet calls, locking himself in for hours. He started watching closely, reading receipts, checking banking apps when Deji stepped out. Then one night, Deji caught him scrolling through his laptop. "Sly, what you they do?" Sly fumbled, mumbled something about Telegram settings, but Deji wasn't buying it. From that day, the vibe changed. The laughter stopped. The jokes died. Deji stopped trusting his own shadow. He kept to himself. The gates to his room were always locked, the lights always off. He told me one night, "When you carry this kind of money, people no longer see you. They see a target. Even your own guy go start calculating how to replace you." And sadly, he was right, because not long after, something happened. Something that changed everything forever. The night Deji vanished, it rained heavily. The kind of rain that soaks through cement and memory. No one knew it was going to be his last night in the compound. But Deji, he knew. See, Deji had noticed the way Sly had been watching him lately. Too quiet, too helpful, too close. The way his questions were no longer casual. The way he'd pause by Deji's door a second longer than normal. Deji wasn't stupid. And more importantly, Deji had seen this story before. Not in movies, but in real life. The kind of real life where people disappear when money starts talking too loud. So he moved. Quietly, smoothly, silently. No bags, no boxes, no farewell. Just his phone and his laptop in a small sling bag. That was all. But before he left, he did something that none of us could believe, even till today. He went to see the landlady, Mama Ronki, sometime between midnight and 3 a.m. Paid her in cash for 2 years of rent, for every single tenant in the compound. Yes, all 11 rooms. "Make sure you don't tell them till morning," he told her, handing her the brown envelope. Mama Ronki, who once called him a useless gambler, cried. She later told us, "Now God used that boy bless Una. For my life, I never see kindness like that before." By the time the compound woke up, Deji was gone. No trace, no goodbye, not even an empty bottle of Star behind. But what we woke up to was madness. Mama Ronki came out with a loudspeaker like she was announcing a wedding. "Attention, everybody! No rent for 2 years. Deji has paid for all of you." We thought it was a joke. Baba Sikiru poured his morning tea on his foot. Mama Chidinma fainted and woke up again. One guy ran shirtless into the street shouting, "Deji for president." It felt like Christmas in June. except for one person, Sly. Because when Sly came knocking at Deji's door that morning, ready to confront him, ready to do whatever it was he planned to do, he met a full room. But no laptop, no Deji, just a sticky note on the wall that said, "Thanks for the memories." From that day, Deji ghosted everybody. No messages, no status updates. Even his Telegram group went cold. He vanished like a spirit with network issues. But soon the sightings started. A cleaner in Lekki Phase 1 swore he saw Deji enter a black G-Wagon with a foreign plate. One girl on Twitter said she sat next to him on a first-class flight to Paris, and he tipped her 1 million naira for helping him pick up his AirPods. Some said he was now living in a penthouse in Banana Island. Others said he had a rotating apartment lifestyle, only staying in private, coded residentials across Abuja, Lagos, Dubai, and sometimes Nairobi. But one thing was consistent. Deji was still winning. Now he didn't just bet. He traveled to watch the matches he bet on. Flew to Spain to watch a La Liga game he staked 50 million on. Took a yacht in Istanbul just to stream a Turkish league match with good vibes. He was living a life no one from our compound could even dream of. But the more he won, the more he moved in silence. Because he knew, in this game, luck isn't the only thing chasing you. And Sly? Well, he never stopped looking. At some point, Sly stopped mattering. The guy who once thought he could manipulate Deji, follow him, maybe even harm him, eventually realized, you don't chase after a ghost that now walks in the clouds. Deji had gone far, too far. Sly couldn't breathe the same air as him anymore. He couldn't enter the kind of lounges Deji now casually strolled into, wearing designer slides and a gold chain that could pay someone's rent for 10 years. So just like that, Sly faded. Now it wasn't street rats Deji had to worry about anymore. It was giants. It started when Deji hit another massive payout. This one was legendary. He had placed a series of bets on the same weekend, using multiple accounts, spread across different betting platforms. All legal, all smart, just strategic. It was the Champions League final weekend, and Deji had predicted every outcome, every correct score, every first-half goal. Each ticket won, but here's where it got crazy. Across the platforms, all linked to him through different names, emails, and crypto wallets, he was owed over 2.2 billion. Yes, 2.2 billion. Not naira from heaven, not promise. Real bets, real wins. And that's when the bookies panicked. Because they checked the odds. They checked the account patterns. They saw the same style, same slip builds, same mind behind all of it. Deji had cracked their system. And if they paid him, one of the companies said in a leaked internal email, if this payout is processed, we might not survive Q3. Deji had become the exact thing betting companies fear most. A player who wasn't lucky but calculated. A man who knew their weakness. He had truly become the bookies' nightmare. Instead of paying him, they tried to freeze the accounts, delay payment, claim technical errors. But Deji didn't beg. He went public. He posted the slips, the winnings, the timelines, the silence from the platforms. He tagged bloggers, lawyers, and finance influencers. He made noise, too much noise. And just when people started paying attention, something else happened. They tried to kill him. Yes, you heard that right. An assassination attempt. One night in a coded residence somewhere in Maitama, Abuja, two unknown men followed his G-Wagon as he left a private dinner. Deji sensed it. His driver confirmed it. They took a detour. Smart move. And minutes later, the rear windshield caught 2 gunshots. Deji wasn't hit, but the message was loud and clear. You've taken too much. Now we want you gone. For a few days, everything went quiet. No one heard from him. Everyone thought he'd go underground. But no, Deji came back louder. He released a video. No face shown, just his voice. If you think I'm the problem, you've forgotten who created the game. You make money off poor people's suffering every day. And now I beat you at your own game? You want to end me? Let's play then. That video went viral. That was the day Deji stopped being a lucky gambler. He became a symbol, a one-man rebellion, a billionaire with a grudge. And now he's going after them, not just for his money, for everybody they've cheated. You see, most people would have run. Most people, after getting shot at, would have packed their bags, gone abroad, laid low, and quietly enjoyed their billions from a hidden villa in Greece. But not Deji. That man didn't run. He didn't even flinch. The attempted hit on him didn't scare him. It activated him. He knew what the bookies were trying to do. They weren't just trying to silence him. They were trying to send a message. This is our world. Stay in your place. Deji's response? Burn the whole house down. First, he linked up with some top legal minds. Not the Instagram lawyers, but real power players. The kind of lawyers who don't wear suits to court, but walk in like the law owes them rent. Deji opened a case, not just for non-payment, but for fraud, digital theft, and financial bullying. And guess what? Other victims came forward, thousands, some from Nigeria, some from Ghana, Kenya, South Africa. All had one thing in common. They had been robbed blind by betting companies who used technical issues, glitches, or silent bans to avoid paying big winners. Deji wasn't just fighting for himself anymore. He had become a movement. He launched a foundation, the Winning Hand. Its goal? To investigate shady betting practices and support victims who were scammed out of their rightful wins. He even hired a media team and started a docuseries on YouTube titled Rigged: The Real Odds of African Betting. The first episode? His story. It hit 1.2 million views in 4 days. But Deji wasn't done. Next, he dropped a bombshell. Using all the betting data he had collected over the years, ticket patterns, algorithm behavior, unusual system errors, he exposed how some companies intentionally manipulated odds in real time. He even showed proof that once your account starts winning too often, they secretly place you on delayed payout status or auto-limit your stakes to 200. He released the documents, the system logs, even leaked chats from insiders. Betting Twitter broke. Telegram groups exploded. For once, the bookies were the ones sweating. People started uninstalling apps. Bloggers called it the Deji's effect. Some betting CEOs started posting PR statements like, "We are committed to transparency and fairness in all our operations." Too late. The people had seen the truth. But then, Deji went one step further. He announced his own betting platform. Not a regular one. A platform built on the blockchain, full transparency, no hidden odds, instant payout, backed by crypto, legal teams, and a powerful user community. Name, SportyBet, tagline, play fair, win loud. It wasn't just a business, it was a revolution. But revolutions have consequences, and while the people cheered, the old gods of betting, the shadow companies, the offshore giants, they weren't going to fold quietly. There were whispers about a bounty, a digital hit list, about companies forming a dark alliance just to crush Deji before his platform launches. But Deji, he was ready. He had already disappeared from the public map again. Now he moves with a private team, bulletproof convoys, secured hotels, international guards. Deji isn't just playing the game anymore. He's rewriting the rules. The day Deji announced SportyBet, the internet didn't just break, it caught fire. Everyone from Twitter trolls to finance journalists started talking. A betting platform that pays instantly, no stake limits, no hidden terms. Real odds backed by blockchain? It sounded impossible. Too clean, too honest, too not Nigerian. But that was Deji's whole point. He wasn't just launching another betting app. He was launching a war cry, a shot at an industry that had built billionaires off the desperation of people who couldn't afford to lose. SportyBet was his revenge. But trust me, the bookies weren't going to let that happen easily. Barely a week before the beta launch, things started going wrong. Deji's hosting server got hit with a cyber attack. A DDoS so powerful it shut down not only the SportyBet servers, but also the private site used for back-end testing. A tech guy whispered later, "This kind of attack no be random. It was military grade." Then came the legal threats. Fake lawsuits began flying in from foreign firms, claiming Deji had stolen their platform code. One company in Malta said he cloned their back-end interface. Another in London accused him of using manipulated sports analytics. It was all lies. But Deji saw what was happening. They can't stop me with odds, so now they're throwing dirt. He posted on X, formerly Twitter, "Justice can't be sued into silence." His fan base exploded. People started using the hashtag #WeBetWithDeji. He now had an army, but the war was only getting hotter. Deji's core team, his developers, legal guys, and even some of his investors, started getting pressure. Phones tapped, families harassed. One investor's car mysteriously caught fire in Lekki Phase 1. Another lawyer on Deji's side had his house raided over a tax evasion case that never existed. Deji responded by doubling security and moving the entire SportyBet development team offshore. He set up a shadow team in Nairobi, another in Dubai, one in Estonia. He started using rotating communication lines, satellite devices, even face blur software during Zoom calls. Because now, this wasn't just betting. This was a fight between a freedom fighter and a cartel, and Deji, he was playing it like a chessboard. The launch date got closer, and the pressure? Unbearable. Everyone thought Deji would postpone, delay, maybe cancel. But on the morning of the launch, he posted just one video. No face, just his voice again. "You tried freezing me, silencing me, killing me. You failed. If you want to kill hope, kill the people. But I'm not the only one anymore. SportyBet goes live tonight." That was it. Midnight. Boom. SportyBet went live. No glitches, no drama. Thousands joined in the first hour. People tested withdrawals during the money landed instantly. No rollback, no system error. Just clean, fast, honest betting. The bookies, they stayed quiet. Too quiet. Because even though Deji had won the battle, the war wasn't over. SportyBet was live. Not in beta, not in testing, live. Operational, explosive. Within 48 hours, it became the most downloaded app in Nigeria's finance category, ahead of banks, crypto wallets, even loan apps. Everyone wanted in. Taxi drivers, hairdressers, NYSC corpers, even church ushers were secretly using it. Because with SportyBet, the rules were different. Instant payout. No max win limit, no account blocking, no rigged odds, no drama. It was everything the others were scared to be. But what Deji didn't know, what none of us knew, was that someone inside his own camp was already bought. They called him Kwame, a clean-cut Ghanaian data analyst, sharp with numbers, smooth with words. Deji brought him on during the early stages to help with risk simulations, basically to make sure the platform didn't crash when 10,000 people all hit 2 million payouts in 1 hour. And Kwame? He was good, maybe too good. But what Deji didn't know was this. Kwame had history. He had once worked with a Malta-based sports data firm that quietly partnered with several betting companies. His contract ended badly, or so he claimed. So when the Allied Bookies Council, yes, that's a real thing, saw SportyBet launching, guess who they reached out to? Kwame. They didn't threaten him. They offered him something bigger. $3 billion. Offshore. In your name. All you have to do is introduce a delay in the algorithm. Just 20 minutes. Just enough to break the instant payout promise. Enough to shake trust. Kwame said yes. He went quiet. Didn't act immediately. He waited. Watched. Then on a random Saturday night, right before a huge Real Madrid versus Barca El Clasico fixture with 250 million in active bets, he struck. He ran a silent update to the live payout module, a line of code buried so deep only a back-end developer would notice. It introduced a 30 minutes delay in withdrawals, just enough to cause panic. And it worked. People started tweeting, "Why my money never land? SportyBet, no start today fall hando. Hope this no be another 1x scam." The hashtags changed. Rashi, justice or scam. Not sure, Deji explained. They got to him. Deji was in Dubai when it started. He got 46 missed calls in 1 hour. But Deji was ready. This was the part they didn't see coming. Deji had a mirror team, developers whose sole job was to monitor for sabotage. One of them, a quiet code wizard named Fatima, spotted the anomaly within 8 minutes. She flagged it. They found the code. They traced it to Kwame's admin panel. Deji went quiet, didn't shout, didn't post. He simply walked into the office, looked Kwame in the eye and said, "You sold your soul for $3 billion? You could have made more just being loyal." Security escorted Kwame out. No police, no lawsuit, just silence. But that silence was loud. Then Deji posted this on Twitter, IG, and everywhere else. "They got someone close. He tried. But you can't kill a platform built on truth. SportyBet will never fall. Oh, and by the way, instant payout is back. 0.7 seconds flat." The internet exploded again. Kwame's betrayal actually made Deji look stronger. More real, more human, more fearless. SportyBet's downloads doubled that weekend. But there's one more thing. Deji found something else in Kwame's computer. An encrypted email. A name. Someone bigger. Not just bookies. Someone powerful. Political. Dangerous. Because now, it wasn't just about betting anymore. SportyBet had grown too fast, too big, too public. And some people in high places didn't like that. When Deji finally opened that encrypted file on Kwame's laptop, he didn't expect what he saw. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a bribe offer. It wasn't even from a bookie. It was a forwarded email chain, sent from a private domain used only by Nigeria's inner political circle. Inside it was a name, Chief Alhaji Farouk Yaradua, Special Advisor on Digital Strategy to the Presidency. The same man people whispered about in corridors of power. The one known for a gambling addiction so bad, he once bet $150 million on a coin toss during an oil magnate's birthday party. The man who, despite all his failures with betting, still refused to quit. But unlike the others, he didn't want Deji dead. Alhaji Farouk had been tracking SportyBet from day one. When the first 200,000 winner went viral, when the 9 million student payout trended on Twitter, when Deji's 500K to 120 million story made it to BBC Pidgin. Alhaji Farouk watched all of it in silence. Then after the assassination attempt failed and bookies started panicking, he made a call. To someone in the DSS, his exact words, "Don't touch Deji. That boy is not our enemy. If anything, he's the future of our digital economy." Everyone in the room went quiet, because Alhaji Farouk never vouched for anyone, but this time he did. Deji was flown into Abuja under the radar. No press, no noise, no social media posts. He was taken through a side entrance into Aso Rock Villa and led into a private chamber. Alhaji Farouk was there, calm, wearing a white kaftan, chewing cola nut, with 2 phones in front of him, both open to SportyBet. He looked Deji dead in the eye and said, "You made the bookies panic. You made the people believe. Now I want you to do the same for this government." Deji blinked, silent. Then Farouk smiled and leaned in. "I don't want to steal from you. I want to partner with you. You've done the impossible. Legal hustle, clean money, zero fear. I want to help you scale it." Deji shook hands with Farouk, but on the plane ride back, his brain was spinning. How do you really shake the system? How do you destroy bookies without breaking any law? Then it hit him. One cut, a feature no bookie dared to offer. If one of your games cut, just one, you still get paid. Not small change, not consolation, full winnings minus just that one game's odds. No insults, no robbery. Example? If you played 100K on 10 games or 5 games to win 1 million, and one game cuts with an odd of 1.50, SportyBet would still pay you 850K. Other bookies? They'd pay you maybe 80K, maybe 50K. Some wouldn't pay you at all. They'd just write "bet lost." The day one cut launched, SportyBet's servers crashed. Too many users, too much traffic. Even Zenith Bank's app mentioned them in a tweet, joking about how too many people were withdrawing into their accounts. Deji had broken the internet again. People began calling him the gambler's savior, president of the punters union, Odogwu of odds, father of one-cut nation. And for the first time in Nigeria's digital history, people were celebrating betting, not for recklessness, but for hope. Back at his old compound, the tenants stood in silence that week when they saw Deji's face on Channel's TV. Even the security guard, Musa, wore his Justice Bet t-shirt with pride. But the most emotional? The landlady. She sat outside under the mango tree weeping. The same rent I used to insult him is the same money that changed his life. She told anyone who'd listen that if she had just believed in him, maybe her own life would have been different. But Deji knew what was coming. This wasn't a fairy tale. It was a war. Yes, he had Farouk on his side. Yes, he had millions behind him. But there were whispers now. Foreign betting giants were getting involved. Billions were being lost. Government factions that didn't support Farouk were watching. And not everyone wanted Deji to keep winning. They came at 2:13 a.m., not with guns, but with algorithms. Powerful ones. Lines of code so advanced they didn't need to hack JusticeBet. They aimed to break its core, corrupt its system, crash the trust. This wasn't just any attack. It was Bet9ja, a global betting tech firm based in Malta with billion-dollar clients, now losing serious money because of one Nigerian boy called Deji. And the mission was simple. Erase him, erase his platform, make it look like sabotage. Deji was in Cape Verde that night. He had flown in to watch Senegal versus Morocco just for the thrill of betting live from the stadium. He was sipping on mango juice and scanning odds from his phone when JusticeBet app stopped refreshing. First it froze, then it glitched, then it shut down. Back at the Lagos server farm, Osha, his closest tech guy, had never seen anything like it. Deji, this isn't local, though. They're not just hacking us. They're rewriting our code while it's running. The entire interface was crumbling before his eyes. Account balances disappearing. Tickets showing canceled. One guy claimed 14 million naira disappeared from his wallet in 10 seconds. JusticeBet was dying live. But this is where they made their first mistake. They thought Deji was just some loud street punter with beginner's luck. They didn't know the real story, the 500K that turned into 120 million. That wasn't just luck. Deji had studied bookie patterns for 2 years. He knew their payout windows, their risk algorithms, their system backdoors, the small glitches they used to cheat people. And now he was inside the game. He pulled out a black laptop from his travel bag. He called Och. Activate GG mode. Ochi paused. Are you sure? It's never been tested live. I said do it. What is GG mode? GG stands for Ghost Grid, a parallel copy of JusticeBet's entire system. No user data, no money, no real-time bets. But it was a perfect mirror. The moment the hackers corrupted the real system, GG mode switched on automatically for every user. To the public, the app never even crashed. People kept betting, kept winning, kept cashing out. The hackers thought they won, but all they did was infect a decoy. The real JusticeBet was offline, protected and untouchable. When Bet9ja realized what happened, they panicked. Deji's trap exposed all their malware. Live. They had left digital fingerprints. Deji now had evidence that could implicate their entire company in global fraud, and he leaked it. To Al Jazeera, to BBC Africa, to Channels TV, even to a tech whistleblower blog in South Korea. Suddenly, the headlines changed. Young Nigerian tech founder beats foreign betting giants at their own game. JusticeBet survives world's biggest sports betting cyber attack. From 1K to 1 billion naira, meet Deji, the Bookies Nightmare. 2 days later, he got a call. Not from Farouk this time, from the president himself. Young man, you just defended Nigeria's digital economy better than most of our cybersecurity units. What do you need from us? Deji's reply. I don't want politics. I want freedom. I want protection. And I want odds justice for the people. While Deji was on TV looking calm, while JusticeBet trended on every platform, while celebratory memes flew all over Niger Twitter, someone else was watching. A man in a private jet over Accra. No social media presence, no interviews, but billions deep in global betting. They called him the architect. Rumor has it he was the original owner of Bet9ja before he sold it and disappeared. Now he was back. He turned to his assistant and whispered, "Tell the board, Nigeria is no longer just a market. It's a battleground. This is not just another story about luck. It's about a man who took on the bookies, the streets, and now the powers that run the country." Deji's rise was fast, dangerous, and unstoppable until the day the hunters became the hunted. What happened next will leave you restless until the next chapter. Tell me, if you were in his shoes, would you run or would you fight? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the continuation drops in just days. And trust me, you don't want to miss it.